Bonjour my friends, and today I'm making sort of a fun video. Yesterday I actually set myself a goal to complete all 6 Path of Growth dungeons, and I'm referring to level 2 hard mode. So level 2 hard mode of each and every single one Path of Growth dungeons using a single team. This means that I cannot change any monsters in the team. I have to use the same 3 monsters. I can swap around the runes, but I cannot change the monsters themselves. And I can only modify the weapon on my summoner. And the goal of this was, previously there was a challenge in the Summoners Wars Sky Arena game where people competed on the best time to complete all 3 dungeons with the same team. In here, I'm not really competing for time because first of all, I think it's much harder to do that same challenge here because first of all, instead of 3 dungeons, there are 6. And second of all, I can only bring 3 units and a summoner, whereas in the other game you are able to bring 5 units, so you're sort of allowed more space to play around with teams. But yeah, I managed to do it after like 3 or 4 hours of testing different teams. I managed to do it, and I do recommend trying it out for yourself as well. It's really fun, and since we have the Lollipop event, you can just simply stack the entries for the next day and you'll be able to claim them. But yeah, the team that I've used was this. So it was Espino, Shushu, and the Wind Yeti. So I've tried a lot of options. I tried Galleon, I tried Tessarion, Annabelle, I tried Soha, even the Dark Monkey got some use. But yeah, none of them came close to this team, and only this team managed to complete it for me. 5 of the dungeons were pretty safe, I didn't lose in those. However, the last one was by far the most difficult, so yeah, I completed the first 5 without too many issues. This one really proved challenging, and I'll show you the runs for all 6 of them in just a second. But yeah, so because this one was the most challenging, I basically started with it, and whichever team worked for this dungeon, I started using them for other ones. So of course I went from the hardest to the easiest. So after this I went for Laboratory, then I went for the Earth Shrine, Lava Cave, a Lizard, and then the Spider was by far the easiest. So I'll show you the runs with the same team and I'll explain the main strategies behind them. So first of all, the main strategy was to note every single thing I need to complete these dungeons, and this was like the list that I made. So for Spider, you really only need a cleanse and a heal, so these 2 were added. For the Forgotten Earth Shrine, you will need either a very strong debuff, tankiness, or a strip, so I've added a strip on that. For the Lizard, you only need a dot to make sure that he doesn't have that damage reduced effect, so dots were pretty easy. My Fire Cleave has 2 dots, wasn't an issue at all. For Laboratory of Madness, I needed either I needed a strip, and on top of that I needed either a heal block or a very strong DPS unit. A heal block allows me to do less damage as long as it blocks the healing that the boss has, or a DPS if I am able to out DPS the healing, and spoiler alert, I wasn't able to, so I just went for a heal block. The Wind Yeti first skill has heal block, so it worked out perfectly for me. For Lava Cave, I only really needed some buffs, so Shushu had the buff, wasn't an issue at all. And for Temple of Darkness was of course the hardest, so there I needed either a strip or a beneficial effect buff block. I tried a lot. I found that Espino worked the best for me. And yeah, basically I had all of these noted. I tried to find 3 units that could do all of these, and these were the teams. Oh, and before we proceed, I'll show you the runes. This is the Shushu stats, my main set, so she has a lot of HP, a bit of defense, decent resistance. Kaja had my second healer set, so he had very high accuracy and some HP. For Espino, I had this set but I changed 1 rune, and now I don't remember which rune it was, but basically this was sort of similar stats to this. I think he may have a little bit more HP because you'll see that I have 143k power here, and in the video it will show as 145 because I changed 1 rune. Unfortunately, I didn't check which rune it was, so I no longer have note of that, but the stats will be very similar to this. And yeah, let's begin with the video. So first of all, the Spider Queen, this was by far the easiest one. All you needed in here was a cleanse and a heal. Shushu on Soul Link was more than enough because she needs 12 seconds to regen 4 mana and her immunity lasts for 14 seconds. So essentially, I wasn't doing a lot of damage, but the boss wasn't doing any damage to me at all either. Water Cleave, because Water Cleave's old skill, as you can see, got buffed a lot, and it now has Defense Break, which allowed me to do the runs much faster. I could have done without the Defense Break, it would have been way safer, but it would have also been way slower, so And yeah, as you can see, no problems at all. The run got completed in like what, a minute and a half? Yeah, a minute and a half. I did the second run. As you can see, no issues at all again. So I'll just breeze through it. And yeah, Arachne, easy one. Going on to the next one. Now the shrine. So for this one, the main goal was to just strip that attack buff to avoid getting damage. And for this I used of course the same team, but this time I added Espino as a Soul Link. Healing wasn't an issue because I have 2 healers and 3 healing skills in total. My main goal was to just strip those attack buffs consistently, so I set Espino to Soul Link on skill 2. Every 9 seconds he will do 3 strips, which allowed me to keep those buffs off the boss for the most part at least. Water Cleave of course to weaken the boss, so that combo of first and third skill is just super OP for this boss, allowing me to prevent a lot of the damage from those attack buffs. As you can see, Espino every 9 seconds whenever he gets the mana he will just strip those buffs and not let the boss stack up to level 10 in most cases. And we're done with the run for this one as well, not too much issues. The Yeti dropped a bit low at the end there, but Shushu had her heal ready, so the Yeti wouldn't have died. Of course, he's a wind element going into a fire boss, so it's a bit scary. The run took 1.5 minutes again, no water glitch or anything like that, and I did the second one. I will breeze through it. I think this was a close one. Yeah. So Espino died, and basically I had to clutch out with just Shushu and Cleave, but because Water Cleave is just so OP into bosses, it was not an issue, and I managed to solo it with Shushu from like what, 20% HP. It took a long time, but it was done, and the run took well close to 2 minutes. Now the third one, the Lizard. So for this one I Soul Link Shushu. I was mostly worried about healing because the Lizard does do quite a bit of damage. This time I'm going with the Fire Cleave because both his second skill and his third skill have dots, and as you know, for the Lizard, whenever he has any dot, his damage taken down will be instantly removed, and I was able to keep the dots permanently, I think. I mean, this skill only has a 8-second cooldown and the dots last like 14 or 15. So not an issue at all. Of course, Espino is a water element into a wind dungeon, so the damage I did here was very low. But I also didn't have too many issues surviving, so 5 minutes more than enough to take the boss down. Probably a lot of the damage came actually from dots. But yeah, the run again, really nothing special. I'll let it fast forward and we'll see how it goes.
Just like a spark that's breaking out, can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's
And yeah, after a grueling 3 minutes, boss actually managed to stack up level 10 critical rate and level 6, I think that's crit damage dealt, right? But we managed to beat it. The run was very long because I pretty much didn't have damage, close to 3 minutes. And I did the second run, which I believe I won as well. Did I win or did I not win this one? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, Cleave's dots are just really strong. And yeah, it looks like I won again with just Shushu. Just shows how OP Shushu is. And yeah, that run took even longer. But I mean, these are not speed teams by any means. These are just teams to complete the challenge, right? Shurekli, he was actually easier than I thought. He wasn't doing a lot of damage here. But basically, Shushu Souling to continuously cleanse those electric shocks as well as apply immunity. And whenever he starts healing, Rakash's skill 1 will actually apply Undercoverable. As you can see, it's already up, but he's not been healing yet. My Yeti is built with accuracy. I think he has accuracy slot 6, and he was rocking 96 accuracy, and the boss had 100 resistance. That means accuracy is maxed out because you need 85 for this boss. He had 96, no issues landing that heal block at all. And yeah, at first the boss took a lot of damage, but when he starts healing, because he puts up immunity as well, I needed to wait for my Espino to clean it, and after Espino stripped that immunity, Rakaja still had to time that heal block, meaning that the boss healed for like 20% HP, but yeah, after that the run was pretty easy, and I'll let it continue as well.
Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us.
And yeah, that was about it. Shurekli finally died. I think the Enduro got stripped by Espino, otherwise it would have been there for like 2 minutes. 2.5 minute run. I did another one, I'm not sure if it won actually. And oh, it looks like it did, and it was way faster for sure. Minute 15, wow, that's actually my best score. Wow, okay. And then the Borbo, this one was very easy as well. Shushu Souling for that continuous healing and buffs, because when you have buffs, the boss does not get buffs himself. And yeah, I probably should have switched Espino to Swift here, because charge skills don't do much damage, but other than that, very simple dungeon again, just survive and continuously buff up so he doesn't get any of those attack speed, critical rate or whatever buffs that he has. And Water Cliff of course helps a lot because he just weakens the damage a lot, and as you can see the unremovable attack up and attack speed up is simply not doing that much. The boss is just standing there due to that level 10 attack speed down, attacking like once every 2 or 3 seconds only. And yeah, long run because Borgo has a lot of HP, but not too much of an issue overall. And we're coming to the close of this run. It was a long run, but a lot of HP, so the run took almost 3 minutes as well. But as you saw, I wasn't even close to dying at any time of the run. 247, run completed, and I did another run. It looks like it was similar duration, but as you can see, those Shushu buffs are just so OP. Apart from the very start, like right here, the boss doesn't actually get those buffs, those 3 blue buffs like at all, just because Shushu simply upkeeps the immunity forever. And yeah, again another close to 3 minute run. Water Cleave OP for bosses, I always say this, always use Water Cleave when you're progressing early in the game, because it just simply has a lot. And now the hardest one, unfortunately this one I was only able to win once, and then I lost 3 battles, so for this dungeon it is by no means a safe team, but it did work, meaning that it can complete it. I think when I wasn't recording I was able to do 2 in a row, but then I lost 2 again, so low chance, purely doing it for the challenge. But yeah, for this one what I needed is a strip whenever the boss gets those what's it called, the revive, self-revive buff, right? I tried a lot of options here. I tried the Dark Monkey King for that first second skill on an attack speed build, didn't strip enough. I tried what else did I try? Soha, I tried Soha on Soul Link. Not enough sustain in that case, unfortunately. I also, what I tried? I wanted to try Chiwu, but unfortunately I didn't have him built. Like, Chiwu could do decent damage, he has max HP scaling, and he has both a buff block and a strip. I also tried Nadinha, it was sort of close, but again, not enough to complete the dungeon. Annabelle helped a lot, because whenever my cleave received like an Oblivion or a Blind, she would instantly cleanse it with her passive a lot, and she was able to defense break for that extra damage as well. But yeah, nothing worked, and this is the only team that I managed to make work in this dungeon, unfortunately. And even then, it relied a lot on the strip being timed perfectly, because even if you strip that self-revive, the boss will get it back after like a few seconds. So you basically have to, like, as you can see, I think, yeah, my Spino stripped it, but the boss will probably get it again, right? Yeah, it got it again. Luckily, Spino had a strip ready, and I was able to complete the dungeon. But after that, I tried 3 more times, and yeah, so she revived and dead. Then again, she gets the buffs. I strip. Unfortunately, she gets it back. She gets that unremovable attack buff, dead again. And the last one was dead even before. Oh yeah, I think, yeah, I got silence, buff block. My cleave passive couldn't even proc. And yeah, that was fun. A fun challenge. I do recommend trying it out, because I know that farming dungeons does get a bit boring after a while. So it is sort of a fun change of pace. I wanted to challenge myself. I'm happy that I did it, even though it took quite a bit of testing. And I did like at least 50 Path of Gold battles apart from that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new monster test, hopefully. Yeah, peace.